All rise.
This is Deeper Than Money. Talk to me. I want viewers watching my show to believe in themselves.
Judge Hatchett is compelling.
If he is not going to honor you, he needs to be gone.
Compassionate.
I don't want you to give up on your dreams. I don't. And I want to figure out how we get this straight.
She's powerful.
If I were in this situation, I would have put you out too.
And she's on the bench.
I feel like I'm being judged here.
That's what I do.
You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. Todd Peterson is suing Patrick Holloway in the amount of $500. Mr. Peterson claims he was hired to appear as a clown at a child's birthday party and says Mr. Holloway dissed his performance and refused to pay him what was due.
Interesting case. I read the complaint. You're suing the defendant and you're saying that he owes you some $500.
That's right, Your Honor.
That you were contracted to perform at his son's birthday party.
That is correct.
And this was, how old is your son?
He just turned 11, Your Honor.
So it's his birthday party. It's the 11th
Yep.
birthday party. And you're a performer?
I am. I'm an actor as well as a weekend birthday party performer.
Oh, I see. So how do you all even know each other?
We used to go to acting school and improv school together.
And did you continue in that career? Are
Myself?
you an actor?
No, Your Honor. I got an actual job.
Oh, that seems a little condescending.
I agree.
Sorry. Apologize. I did what I thought was the responsible thing at the time, and I left acting to join the business field. I'm a sales manager now.
Okay.
And I hired him to perform my son's birthday party. And he came to the party and he didn't perform any of the services that we agreed upon. I offered him the job out of the goodness of my heart, Your Honor, and then he showed up, and he showed up late to the party. He showed up out of costume. He was mingling with the party guests, the parents at the party, before he was even entertaining the kids.
All right, so let me start with what were you expecting? What were the terms of this agreement?
Sure.
You were supposed to come to his home to provide entertainment for the birthday party
For
his son, who's 11 years old.
That's correct.
And were you to be a clown? Were you to be a juggler? Were you to be a... What were you supposed to do?
I was contracted to appear as my clown persona, Dr. Pickles.
Oh, Dr. Pickles.
Yes, Dr.
All
Pickles.
Right.
As well as perform balloon twisting, juggling, face painting for 2 hours, plus a 30-minute finale show.
Okay, so 2 hours and then a 30-minute show?
So 2.5 hours total.
So 2.5 hours. And what was the agreement of how much he would be paid?
We agreed on $500, Your Honor, but that was for an entire show of the things he just described.
So now, what time were you supposed to arrive?
I'm supposed to arrive at 1 p.m.
1 p.m. Did you arrive at 1 p.m.?
I arrived at 1 p.m.
Sir, what time did he arrive?
I wasn't looking at the clock exactly, but I know the party started at 1 and you weren't there yet, and then you arrived sometime after that, maybe 15 minutes late, I think.
All right, so when you arrived, he says you were late. What happened when you arrived?
I believe, given the amount of traffic, there's a 15-minute grace period. I always do my best to make up for the time I am late after the party.
You basically are saying that you weren't really there at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock or 1:05, I allow
But you're
gonna
make up the time, and that you're gonna do it for 2.5 hours.
Yes, I will stay afterwards.
Okay, so now you're there. He says that you didn't arrive as Dr. Pickles.
Yes, I arrived in my standard all-black uniform to transfer myself from the front of his house to the backyard and set up my supplies.
So you're setting up your supplies after the party starts?
Yes. It was at that time, when I arrived, that I realized this was not for his 6-year-old son. This was a party for his 11-year-old son.
Oh.
Yes.
But why weren't you dressed as a clown when you arrived?
Generally, for my standard parties that include so many activities, I have a handler with me. Usually the performer is not also the face painter and the balloon twister. As a favor to Patrick, I was going to cover everything on my own and travel.
At a reduced rate?
At the standard rate for a single performer.
As a single performer. It would have been more had you had a handler.
it would have been their additional hourly fee.
Okay, so now you show up and you think that this is the party for the 6-year-old.
That's correct.
And that's what you were prepared to do, to
Yes.
entertain children of that age group.
That's correct.
So did you ever communicate to him that it was not for your 6-year-old, that it was for the 11-year-old child?
I believe I told him that it was for my eldest. I will concede that maybe that was not communicated.
Okay.
I don't remember. That doesn't change the fact that he didn't come and even do the job. Like this, I think it's regardless whether they liked him or not. He didn't even perform the service. If he had done the,
so that's why we're here.
Yes,
right? So you
yes.
didn't pay him.
I didn't pay him because he didn't do the job I hired him for.
Coming up on The Verdict with Judge Hatchett.
I hear you saying that your 11-year-old likes clowns, but there's a difference in a party performance for a 6-year-old than there is for an 11-year-old.
And later,
You're telling me that you have evidence that he was paying a woman in an escort service.
I did.
I never paid anyone for an escort service.
if you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. The Verdict with Judge Hatchett is back with the case of Todd Peterson, who is suing Patrick Holloway for breach of contract.
Now, we went through the list of things you're supposed to do, right? And you were supposed to do the balloons. Did you do the balloons?
I did do balloons.
And what else did you do?
Face painting. I had set up my juggling act as well, and also my supplies for my headliner finale.
Okay, so you're saying he didn't do any of that?
No, Your Honor, he wandered around. If you want to call this being a clown, you tell me this is being a clown. He wandered around my backyard and basically made some shapes and just said, "Here you go," and chucked it at a few kids. And then he was shooting off some confetti when kids weren't even looking, and which I had to clean up after the whole party. I had to pay someone to clean up all the confetti in my yard. And he didn't even perform a show. He said he was going to do a half an hour extravaganza show. He did maybe 10, 15 minutes of just kind of doing his thing, and the kids were not amused. I didn't pay him for, that's not what I paid him for. That's not what I paid you for. You promised a show for my son, and you didn't deliver.
Okay, so from your perspective, you're saying you did deliver. What happened with these balloons? Because I need to rule on this. What happened with these balloons?
The balloons. I arrived to set up, design some balloons for my area before I changed into my Dr. Pickles costume.
Okay.
And at that point, the kids, there was younger kids and a lot of older kids. His 11-year-old's friends, his 13, 14-year-olds, the neighborhood kids were also there. They came to me asking for balloons, so I started making balloons for them before I was in my clown costume.
So you were prepared for a younger audience. Because there really is a difference. Honestly, Patrick, I hear you saying that your 11-year-old likes clowns, but there's a difference in a party performance for a 6-year-old than there is for an 11-year-old.
I agree with you, Your Honor.
Right.
I agree with you. There were some older kids there. I concede that, and because we had cousins there, and he has older friends in the neighborhood. There was younger kids there too, and this is my point, Your Honor, is that.
Okay, help me understand this.
Sure. If I hire someone to mow the lawn, right, and then they only mow like half the lawn or a quarter of the lawn, would you pay that person for having mowed the lawn? And I think the answer most people would say is no.
I get your point.
Yeah, so.
I get your point. So now we've got the balloons, we got the juggling. Let's get to the 30 minutes. What happened during that time?
That's correct. I checked the time and noticed that the end of my 2.5 hours, but that 30-minute section was about to begin.
Okay.
And the children of all ages were scattered around, following their own interests. To try to gather them, I brought my confetti cannons to cause a large noise to bring in the attention for this finale act. But the ages of the children and being told by peer pressure that, oh, clowns aren't cool, is very appealing to children such as Travis. I spent a majority of that time trying to get the children corralled. I spend about 15 minutes total performing that final act with my persona. I gather my things, say goodbye to the children, and I walk into the house towards the exit with Patrick, where I expect to receive my $500. He offers me $50 for gas money, saying that I did not perform the services he requested.
Anything else you want to tell me about this situation?
Honestly, I am just surprised that, having gone through the same artistic acting training and improv sessions as we have together, that he would disrespect my abilities this way.
All right, Patrick, was there no way to get this resolved and settled short of coming into my court today?
I thought it was resolved. My wife was so furious that she didn't want to pay him at all. I thought I was being generous, giving him gas money for coming all the way out, and honestly ruining my son's birthday party.
All right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to rule on this case. I do think that there is some responsibility on your part, Patrick, to have been very clear, given the fact that you have 2 sons. Be very clear about the age. You owe him more than $50 because I think you bear some responsibility in not communicating as effectively as you could. Do I think that you owe him the whole $500? Absolutely not. I think that there were responsibilities on both sides where both of you all, no pun intended, dropped the ball on this. Under these circumstances, I am going to award him half for a judgment of $250, but be very clear before you go and perform exactly what the demographics are and what's expected of you. Patrick, I hope that this is really not also some of your condescending attitude toward him. Because it sounds like to me that it's almost like I did this almost as a charity case. And that's not okay. It's really not okay. You chose a different path. He chose this path. And let's be respectful of each other. Nothing further. We'll stand adjourned. Judgment for the plaintiff for the reasons I've stated.
All rise.
Judge Hatchett has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $250.
I just think when you sell a service, you should do the service, and you should perform the things that you advertise.
Clown justice has been served.
Coming up.
So I'm attending a lot of dinners and networking. But when I was bringing her in on this process and talking to her about it, she would get extremely jealous at the name of any woman that got brought up.
You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. Chase Matthews is suing Lainey Donaldson in the amount of $20,000. Mr. Donaldson claims his girlfriend became jealous of his growing career and says her vindictive online post caused him to lose a lucrative business deal.
Chase, you're here suing the defendant for $20,000.
Yes, I am. Yes, Your Honor.
How do you all even know each other?
She was my ex-girlfriend. We were together for 3 years. First met, Lainey works at a gym. She's a personal trainer, and I'm a semi-pro golfer. And my friend brought me in for a private session with Lainey, and we hit it off right away. And within 2 months, we were living together, and things were going great. And then around halfway in the relationship, when my golfing started to pick up, all of a sudden she started to grow insecurities. She started not to trust me. She was accusing me of hiring escorts and cheating on her.
He says you're insecure. What are you telling me?
I have to completely disagree with that. I am not at all insecure. I was completely supportive of his career, and I supported him through everything. He lived with me. Some things that changed was the cheating. He was constantly, he would leave his phone out, and he didn't even seem to mind that I saw these messages. He was getting names, Amanda, Hart. You know, why are there girls? He would say they were girls that he was working with. I can't imagine they had a reason to be texting him, good night, Hart. You know, so that was pretty constant. There was always an excuse. You know, even with the escort messages, I saw him pay a woman, mention paying a woman over text.
Wait. You're telling me that you have evidence that he was paying a woman in an escort service?
I do.
I never paid anyone for an escort service. I did pay for a social media manager for a photo shoot.
Coming up.
There was a post with my picture on it saying that I was a cheater, I was hiring escorts.
Did you post that? Let me see that. Did you post that?
Your Honor, I did post that.
Why did you post that?
You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. The Verdict with Judge Hatchett is back with the case of Chase Matthews, who is suing Lainey Donaldson for defamation.
What are you going to show me?
I'll show you a screenshot of a woman saying how great of a time she had with my ex-boyfriend, Chase.
On our photo shoot.
Okay.
So you didn't give him the benefit of the doubt. You said, listen, this is an escort. You're paying her for sex. and I'm out.
It was so much more than that.
So tell me, what else
Yeah.
happened?
So outside of that, he became very distant from me, on top of these messages, aside from this one that I saw.
It sounds like there was a change in the relationship. What was going on? Help me understand this.
My career started to pick up, and when your career starts to pick up, a team starts coming around you going, you need to do this, you need to build your profile, you need to build your social media presence. So I'm attending a lot of dinners and networking. But when I was bringing her in on this process and talking to her about it, she would get extremely jealous at the name of any woman that got brought up.
So why are you suing her for $20,000? What happened?
So after I left, 2 months later, I was living in hotels, and then all of a sudden, my branding deal pulled out. I have the email right here
Let me see
from
it.
Swing Away Golf Company.
All right.
They pulled out of a $50,000 branding deal with me because of inappropriate off-course behavior. So I had no idea what that could possibly be. So I was looking on the internet trying to find something, and then I found a couple golf blogs, a screenshot from an all-women's only app called The Juice. There was a post with my picture on it saying that I was a cheater, I was hiring escorts.
Did you post that? Let me see that. Did you post that?
Your Honor, I did post that.
Why did you post that? Because you're mad.
Because I was looking for some support. I didn't mean this to be public, number one. Everything I said is true, number two. And this was supposed to just be for women to sort of support each other.
Judge Hatchett's verdict when we return. You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett.
How do I know that there is a link between this post and you not getting this brand deal?
The email says off-course behavior, and there's nothing to my name revolving around that besides this post. So the post in the golf blogs and me losing the branding deal happened within a week.
You see any tie between that and what happened to him?
Yes, I see that tie. I also don't understand how he's suing me for $20,000 when everything written there is true.
I'm not convinced that the $200 is for an escort. Lainey, I think this is a problem. I think you were mad. I think you were being vindictive. I think that you wanted to get back at him. You did it to hurt him, and in turn, I am convinced because of the time span, I think there is enough of a causation or connection, as we talk about under the law, that this post had a negative effect on his ability to make more money. I'm not going to award the complete $20,000 because I think he could have handled this better, but I am entering judgment in your favor in the amount of $10,000. We'll stand adjourned.
All rise.
Judge Hatchett has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $10,000.
I think if you spent more time focused on our relationship instead of cheating, you might be a better golfer.
And I think if you just trusted your partner, you would have better relationships.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.